wherever you would like to. Oh, right. Okay. Come on, who wants that last seat? It's a shame now Bob has struggled down with these seats today, so the least we can do is to get somebody to sit on the final seat. Well done, Colin. You get an extra bonus point. I'm not sure what the points turn into, but well done. Anyway, what a lovely day for us to be here. Now, when I wrote this yesterday, it was sun shining, so I'll go with at least a dry day today. So what a lovely dry day for us all to meet here at Darnford Moors Ecology Park in Lichfield to celebrate the creation and the subsequent development of this beautiful green and blue space. It's a haven for all kinds of wildlife and a perfect escape for people of all ages, including us here today. So thank you very much for being here to share in this special moment where we recognise the standout contribution of one of our incredibly hard-working volunteers, and she is sitting here at the front. Chris Bull has a long connection to volunteering, having served with the VSO in the South Pacific Islands and in Namibia, which is the driest part of Africa. She volunteered with a local group at Muckley Corner, which I understand is where she first heard about us, and then started with us at Summerhill with the Staffords. Joined the Trust as a member in July 2015. And Chris was a countryside officer working with Roger and Jean Barnett on environmental matters such as traditional hedge laying. This led a year or two later to Chris being appointed to the board as Environment Director. But typically, as with most of our trustees, she did not confine her talents to just that, just being quite a large job to do actually. And she certainly can do funding bids and secured £18,500 grant for us from the postcode local trust for the Fossway Heath project, and that was back in 2017. Now, Chris has had a very important role in defining the environmental basis for Darnford Moors Ecology Park. She provided advice to the board for our grant applications and tutored youth groups in how to maintain the site and plant new hedgerows, wildflower seeds and hundreds of English bluebell bulbs. On David Dixon's retirement to Cumbria, Chris was elected as our chair at the AGM in June 2017, saying, "I'll do it for 2 years." That turned into 5 years, until 2022. And as if chair wasn't enough for her to do, she continued with her environment role as well. Now, while she was chair, she led the trust through some quite tricky times. This included the clay pit lane problem in 2019, when LDC decided that their infrastructure policy, which required Taylor Wimpey to fund their Deanslade development, was only aspirational. This was nonsense, of course, fundamentally wrong. And national crowdfunding paid for an expensive London barrister to advise on judicial review against the council. Now, we thought a lot about this at the time, but probably rightly, I say, stopped short of costly court proceedings because we wanted to be on good terms with our local authorities nearby. Sadly, that turned into a bit of a rocky road, but Chris has played an absolutely critical part of building good relationships with many external stakeholders, including LDC, and things are in much better shape today as a result. So thank you very much for the part you played in that too, Chris. She steered the Trust through the demanding process at county level of the Trust being awarded the Queen's Award for voluntary service. It's effectively an MBE, but for the group of volunteers, not for an individual. And 2 of us represented the Trust at a garden party at Buckingham Palace. I'm not sure who those 2 people were, so if you...
Peter and Bob.
Oh, right. Lovely. Very nice day out. Another of Chris's leadership legacies was recognising that in order for us to succeed in bringing the canal back into Lichfield, we needed to raise our game and operate on a more strategic and business-like basis. She led a fundamental review of the way we work, identified gaps and opportunities and restructured the board. This in turn led to the establishment of a new strategy and operational plans, and that helps us to focus on building specific parts of the canal and ensuring we've got enough money and enough people and all the other resources we need to build them. And this approach has led to a faster and more tangible evidence of the fantastic work that we do, including where we're standing today here at Darnford Moors. She's done sterling work with young people throughout her entire tenure, including from Scouts, Cubs and Guides, pupils from Queen's Croft School, students from local colleges, and of course young people undertaking their Bronze, Silver and Gold Duke of Edinburgh Awards, some of whom we have here today, and the guys have been here since early start and have been tidying up the area as well. So thanks guys for doing what you've done today and for all that you do to support the Trust. This has been a huge amount of work for Chris, with all the coordination, induction, administration, and even delivering all the tools and PPE around the various sites in her trusty camper van. The one time she asked me to do it, and I managed to get everything wedged in the back of my car, and I had a spade stuck there for a week and a half until I could actually manage to extricate it, with some coaching from Chris. So we're all very grateful for you for that as well, Chris. As with everything that we succeed in doing as a trust, we build on the fantastic work and achievements of previous volunteers, and this is certainly the case for this small wooded area here at Darnford Moors. The area was originally planted out by Mike and the late Penny Smith in 1997, who had the original idea to create this little mini haven along the then empty canal. And then of course John and Jan Horton. John was the civil engineer who specified and oversaw the new channel, preservation and diversification around the old Lock 29 behind me, and Jan did our comms. And more recently, Leon Southern for masterminding the thinning out of the canopy to let in more light, and Alan Bateman for the hedge laying. And everybody else who's been down here and helped, too numerous to mention. Chris resigned as trustee in November 24 and remains as a retired member and an advisor to us all. And just speaking personally, Chris has been a superb mentor and wise counsel to me as I followed in her footsteps, and it's a privilege to be able to call her a friend, as she is to many of us here today. It's so appropriate, Chris, that you are surrounded by your fellow volunteers to see the unveiling of the new sign, which designates this area as Bullwood. We have a great team here at Lichfield and Hatherton Canals Restoration Trust, and those teams succeed due to great leadership, and you have provided that in spades. So Chris, would you like to say a few words, and could we give Chris a round of applause?
Thank you, Carol, for all those words. You'll all be pleased to know I'm not going to speak as long as Carol, but it did remind me of when I retired from Tamworth and Lichfield College, as it then was, and glowing testimonials from the principal, to which I said in reply, "If I'd known you thought that much of me, Rupert, I'd have asked for a pay rise." So I'm asking for a pay rise, which, as you all know, we're very generous with, because nobody's paid anything. This is a superb honour, being having a wood named after me, but I have to say, I feel a bit of a fraud. It's already been mentioned that Mike and the late Penny Smith planted all these back in 1994?
97.
Sorry?
97.
97, okay. And again, it's been mentioned that John Horton specced out the, what's the technical term? Not specced out, is it? When you've set out. Surveyed, right, okay. And so hence marked out the diversion, which I think most of you will know had to be a new, a revised channel, because we don't want to use old Lock 29. We've got to keep the level low to get under Darnford Lane, hence the new channel there as a diversion. As Carol said, I've been involved with grounds and DOE volunteers and with Philip Skelton organising corporate social responsibility groups to keep all our grounds under control. So my involvement is actually very recent. Only in very recent years have we been working on, under the Darnford Moors Ecology Park development. So it's another reason why I'm a bit of a fraud. And a couple of years ago, and he's here somewhere, Leon Southern, with his daughter on his shoulders, joined us as a volunteer, and Leon previously worked in forestry, so he advised, directed, what needed to be done to thin the canopy and to let more light into the floor of the wood. And he was assisted in that with Bob Richard Williams, who has Bob's son, or one of Bob's sons, who has a chainsaw license. So that was, you know, a big job, because it made those of us who were in here before that, it was very, very dark. Carol mentioned that we've planted bluebells, which incidentally she supplied. So they're your bluebells. And
There are bluebells.
they're mostly down there, on that stretch sort of nearer to the canal. I don't think we haven't got Terry here, have we, today? And Margaret's not able to come. But they worked with, I think, digging up primroses from from Terry's garden. Cycles coming through. Oh, right. And we have to stop them to get them to buy raffle tickets. Where was I? Yes, and they dug up primroses from, I think, Terry's garden, and had Queenscroft High School students plant them on the back of just on the back of here. So, you know, hopefully those will spread, but we'll plant more if necessary. And it should, you know, we should have in a few years' time, lovely spring show down here. Those who walk down this way will have seen a load of saplings, young trees, phillippers with the grounds team, Duke of Edinburgh Award Scheme and corporate social responsibility groups has created a nursery there, because we acquired those in the spring, worst time, you know, to plant trees. So they're in a nursery and can be planted. They'll be fine there. There's plenty of room. We'll infill where we know we've got gaps, and I think Philip's probably got all that well under control wherever. Yes, wherever he is over there. Right. Now, you know, we haven't left all this wood around out of laziness. There are very good reasons. And again, with Leon's advice, although I'd done it in my previous conservation work, we have made dead hedging to try and delineate paths so that we don't have people trampling everywhere through the wood, particularly with the view of getting it into wildflowers. So we want to keep people within these quite wide tracts, but marked parks. Another thing is that you'll see there's big chunks of wood lying on the ground, trunks, that behind John here and Bob, the roots of a tree. You've also got dead wood standing, dead wood lying. They each attract different critters to feed on them. So that, you know, that's why we've got all different sorts of dead wood. When I think back to, well, Eric, our founder, and I can never remember whether you're president, and when I think back to you early volunteers, John, Jan, I don't know, probably got a few more here, the determination and drive you guys must have had to start this enormous project with very little confidence of the community that you'd ever succeed, and even the previous leader of the council, I mean, it's as in my time, saying, oh, the canal, it'll never get done. I better not quote which leader of the council it was, apart from his first name's Mike. And then denied having said it when I challenged him. So, I mean, back then when you guys started, it was a really uphill struggle. You know, the more we do now, the easier it is to get support, whether that's finance or whether it's more volunteers, and we've got, I think, more volunteers than I can remember ever having. And now if I'm out on site, which I'm not, unfortunately, very much these days with my cronky legs and health problems, then, you know, I'm seeing faces that I've not seen before, and lots of them. So, you know, we're doing very well, but we will continue to do very well. So, huge thank you to everybody for coming here, and at least, as Carol said, pity we haven't got the sunshine, but hope you're all warm enough, and if not, you know, you can go for a run. So huge thanks to everybody here, fellow volunteers, those who weren't able to make it, and yeah, keep on working. Oh, yeah.
To unveil the sign.
With a flourish, you say?
Yes.
Thank you, Christine, for your design. May there be many more occasions when we get to use it.
Thank you very much, Chris, and please don't feel a fraud. You have put so much into the trust, and it's so lovely that we're able to recognise that. That's the end of the sort of formal ceremony, but please feel free to stay, to have a look round, to catch up with friends. There is a display that Bob has put together in the gazebo over there that shows a bit of the history of how this has come about. And thank you all once again for joining us this morning. Thank you.
Can I just say one more thank you that I meant to say and didn't, which is to these splendid youngsters who've turned out at 9 o'clock this morning, and their normal turnout time isn't until 10. And I know what it's like at your age, having to get up early. So thank you for coming. Thank you very much too for making it an early start and all the work you do. Cheers.
Thank you, Chris, for bringing a new dimension into the trust with your enthusiasm right from the start. I remember right from the start, you took it on with real enthusiasm and brought a complete new dimension to the trust.
Thank you very much, Jan. Okay.
I'm so delighted to be able to be here today, and I don't know whether there's anybody older than me here, but I've been involved. When I started the trust many years ago now, I hoped that it would go on with some sort of enthusiasm, but I had no idea at that stage when I started it what a mammoth task it was going to be. I thought to myself, well, in fact I looked at it, I thought 6 miles, 7 furlongs, and that's not going to be very long to try. Well, we soon do that. And then I realised there were 29 locks involved. I thought, oh good God, it's a bit more than I thought. Anyway, we started off in the early stages, and of course you probably don't know, but right at the very beginning we had no money, and all we'd got was enthusiasm. And I'm delighted to say the enthusiasm is still there today. Thank you all ever so much for your help, and thank you for taking over from me. You did a wonderful job. I'm ever so grateful to you. And as past chairman going on these days, thank you all. You're very welcome. I'm just so pleased that it's going on so well, and get it finished. I don't know whether I'll ever see the end or not, but I've always said it's not for us, it's for our children and their children. They will enjoy it, I'm sure. Canals are a vital part of our life in this country. We mustn't let them deteriorate. We've got to keep them going, and the more enthusiasm we put into it, the more it'll be for other people. God bless you all. I'm very pleased to see you. Thank you. As I say, stand up, speak up, then shut up.
It keeps us young, the canal does. It keeps us young.
Well, we do our best, don't we? How old are you now?
85.
Well, you're doing very well, aren't you?
Stuck down every night.
94. You don't tell anybody.
He was 90 when he went there.
Hello, mate. Oh no, not at all. Trying to train this one up. The next generation of volunteers.
This is what it's all about for these young people. Help them enjoy it as much as we have.
You plant the tree knowing you won't sit under its shade.
If you've got any friends, tell them to come along and help us. I'm delighted to see young ladies too. Well done, darling. Are you the only one here? Well, you're doing a wonderful job.
Quality, not quantity.
Well done. Turn it out for me, you mean? You don't want me.
Well, join the club.